vayas, no te vayas, que aún no sabes todo lo que siento. Yo te prometo un amor eterno. No te vayas, no te vayas, que cumpliré con todos tus deseos. Hasta te doy todo lo que no tengo. Oh, no sé por qué te vas. Dime que no te vas.
What's up? It's your boy Los LOS. I'm here with my partner in crime, JJ. What's up, JJ?
Man, we back in the streets today. Season 2, episode 1. We bringing new flavor in your ear, Los.
It sounds like you're excited.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. It's been a minute, man.
So we're here in LA, and we got a great friend of mine for the last 15, 17 years, and we're happy to introduce him to you. He's a singer, songwriter, producer. He's a pretty boy.
Ah, qué lindo, ¿no?
as you don't see him, but you can hear him. So we want to just introduce him right now. He goes by the name of Ricky Lewis.
Sir, yes, sir.
What's up, Ricky Lewis?
Hey, man.
Welcome, welcome.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me. I'm excited. I didn't know this was going to be the very first episode of your second season, so congratulations on the first ones.
Thank you.
Welcome to LA. We're in my studio right now, OTB Recordings in West Hollywood. And I'm just really excited to have you guys here. So I'm excited to be here. So I hope we get into some really cool topics.
Absolutely.
We do.
I
It's
love
gonna be an awesome. It's gonna be an awesome time. So we got some icebreakers.
All right.
We always start off with some icebreakers. So they're kind of funny. If you want to answer something, you can. If you don't want to answer something,
say
you don't
pass.
have to. You say pass. Yeah. We had Pam from Pam and Knox, and he will always say, "I'm married." For the ones he wanted to pass, I'm married.
I will
Good
just
answer,
say
good answer.
the fifth.
The fifth. There you go. The fifth works.
The
The fifth
fifth.
works. The fifth works.
Legal counsel agrees with me. So.
So we're gonna start off with white rice or Puerto Rican rice. So you got your white rice.
You're talking about arroz con gandules.
Right.
Yes.
There you go.
Arroz con gandules obligado. O
Por,
sea,
¿Por qué? Why?
because it's got flavor.
There you
What?
go.
What's the name of this podcast?
It's called flavor.
Come on, bro. What
do
kind
it.
of question is that? Next.
Next, there you go.
You got the next one, bro.
All right, my man. So if you had one dish to pick, would it be mofongo or plátano maduro?
I got to go with the mofongo, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just like the savory more than the sweet, and for me, it's like it feels more traditional Puerto Rican, el mofongo, que el plátano maduro.
Right.
When I think of, even though I love me like a pastelón or like canoa or a pionon or whatever, I don't know, something about, I just like the mofongo. I like it filled with stuff, salsa criolla, salsa ajillo, whatever. So I'm a mofongo guy. Veganized, obviously, sin chicharrón, but you know we're good. I love my mofongo.
Word. So you're originally from Chicago, correct?
That is correct.
So Chicago Cubs or Chicago White Sox?
Cubs. I'm a North Sider, bro.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I apologize for any Sox fans, but to be honest, it's just by default, right? I'm not really a sports follower anymore. I kind of fell off of sports after the second three-peat of the Bulls. That was a real exciting time to be in Chicago for me, and then after that, I was just kind of like, you know. I got excited when the Cubs did the World Series, whatever year that was, like in the last decade or whatever.
2016.
Yeah. That was fun. But yeah, Cubs fan, man.
Amen.
I like the black colors of the socks though. So like if it's a fashion thing, I'll throw a socks hat on.
People
with no
always say
problem.
that. Yeah. People always say that.
It's harder to match the blue and the red, you know.
Yeah. Especially out here in LA.
Right.
You might get in trouble with the blue and the red.
Well, you know, it's like it's got both, right? So it's like I don't know who I'm supposed to
I'm
be.
in between. I don't know what to do.
That's how you survive, bro. It's purple.
There you go. Jay, you got the next one.
Yes, sir. So as far as music, who would you rather play with? Willie Colon or Hector Lavoe?
If he was still alive.
Yeah.
So-
dead or alive?
Well, Willie Colon is still alive, right?
Right, he's
right.
still alive.
Man, you know that's hard. I'll say this: I really respect what Willie Colon did, like as a producer, and what he did for the music of Hector Lavoe. So I think for me, as a vocalist, I think collaborating with Willie Colon in that sense, like if he were to do a production with me or for me,
Okay.
I think I would prefer that. I mean,
Really?
to be
Wow.
I know that seems crazy,
Right, because everybody will want to do Hector Lavoe because he's a cantante, right?
El cantante, all that stuff. But, you know, he's a cantante, I'm a cantante. You know, it's going to be a little bit of diva stuff going on there. I'd be like, nah, my turn, bro. Give me the mic, you know?
Right.
Obviously, respect, you know. But, yeah, I mean, I think for me, Hector was like an artist of the people, you know? And I respect and appreciate everything that he did. He's got like a bunch of fire ass songs that I love. But once again, I think like the production value and just kind of like that really innovative style that Willie Colon kind of like created alongside Hector Lavoe was something that really draws me in. So I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? So, Chicago pizza or New York pizza?
Man, I'm gonna get banned from my city.
Oh,
I lived in New York for a while too, man. You know, just I'll say Chicago pizza.
All right.
I'll say Chicago pizza. I'll
Why?
go with that. Because it's thick and delicious, man. I like something to bite into and to grab. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your favorite pizza spot in Chicago? What's your go-to when you go to the city and visit the city?
So I gotta say now,
Uh-huh.
I've been vegan for about 8 years. So
8 years.
That changes a little bit. There's a spot called Kitchen 17.
Okay.
That they do really good vegan deep dish.
This is Chicago.
In Chicago, yep. And there's a spot called Demos that they do like they also have
Interesting.
non-vegan pizza, but they have some fire vegan pizza too. And I've taken a lot of my non-vegan friends there. They have one right in Wrigleyville, not too far from where Cubby Bear is, right? I've been there a couple times, like after performing at Cubby Bar on a Sunday, and they're open late. So Demo's got really good pizza too. So Demo's Kitchen 17 for me as a vegan, those are my spots.
You're gonna have to check those places out.
Yeah. Demo's has like this barbecue like chicken. I'm doing air quotes for those of us that are not
It's
watching.
not real chicken, right?
It's like soy-based chicken or whatever,
Got it.
but it tastes amazing. Yeah.
So Tom or Jerry?
Who's who? I forget.
Tom is the cat.
Okay,
Jerry's
yeah,
the mouse.
I don't know how to remember. Jerry's a mouse. Tom's a cat. You know, more recently, I'm more of a Tom person for reasons that I can't explain. But you know, I mean, I think growing up watching that, I was always a fan of Jerry. He's like, dude, leave this guy alone, bro. What's going on? Stop.
Right.
Let this little man be. But yeah, underdog, man. Jerry. Yeah, Jerry.
Okay.
Small and brown, bro, like me.
Okay. You want to take the next one?
Well, you know what? He kind of mentioned he's a vegan, and my next question was going to be a jibarito sandwich or a Cuban sandwich.
I mean, I go jibarito all day long.
He's
Long.
straight shy Tom.
So how would you do a jibarito sandwich?
So and this place just closed, man. It's so sad. There's a place on Armitage. There was a place on Armitage called Ground Control, and they did a vegan jibarito there.
Really?
Yeah. So they do like a wheat-based meat. It's called seitan, and they lo adoban igual, and they make the tostón. Everything else, you know, in that is totally, you know, plátano, the tomato, the lettuce,
Right.
and other than like the cheese, you
onions,
can have a
yeah.
vegan cheese, but yeah, jibarito all day long, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
You
I
know
love
from
me
the
a Cuban
sign.
sandwich. What I love more than a Cuban sandwich is a medianoche,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
That bread.
That sweet bread,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
bread.
Yeah. So, but
Delicious.
jibarito, I'm picking jibarito. Final answer.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Straight.
Okay. So, back in the day, Wonder Woman or the new Wonder Woman? Linda Carter, or I forgot this last.
Simply because I have a really bad memory, and I'm a grown man now, and I know what I would do with Wonder Woman more than I did back then. I'm gonna go with the new one, whatever her name is. So
Okay.
final answer.
I'm definitely Linda Carter. Linda Carter. My wife, you
need to come with pictures at me, bro. I can.
Linda, you remember how Linda Carter looks?
Bro, I don't remember anything, man.
Iconic.
I'm sure she's a
You got to
lovely
remember,
woman.
back then they didn't have filters. So now, they were natural back then. Now you got filters and you just don't know how somebody looks nowadays, right?
Well,
Until you see them in person, you're like, wait a minute, that's not what I signed
pool?
up
Is
for,
there a
right?
pool?
I'm okay with the fantasy of whatever I see on the screen. It's cool.
That's awesome.
I take that with me.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
I was a big Linda Carter fan, and I dated women.
That-
my wife could contest to this. That looked like Linda Carter.
Okay.
And every Halloween, I was like, here's a little outfit.
Wonder Woman.
Be my Wonder Woman. I think you're Superman.
Tie me up in a rope. Come on, I'm going to tell you
Invisible rope.
everything.
Word. No,
That's a-
that was
that-
visible plane.
Yeah.
That's a new topic. I'm kind of into rope. If you guys want to talk about
Really?
it.
Yeah, we heard. We heard.
It's good for tying stuff on top of the car when you don't have like a pickup and you're going to Home Depot. You're
Yeah,
working
picking
on
up a Christmas tree.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. All that stuff.
What's I see? You want to take the next one?
No, I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
He's tapping out. He's
Yeah.
tapping out. We haven't got him good yet.
Yeah.
So,
Give me good. Come
how many schools did you go to in Chicago, high schools?
I only went to one high school. I went to Lincoln Park.
You were lucky.
And I actually went into Lincoln Park in their double honors math and science program. And I was in that for like 2 years, and then I switched over to the music program because I was like, yeah, I like music more than numbers.
Okay. What grammar school did you go to?
I went to a grammar school called Alexander Graham Bell. That is up by Oakley and Grace, or the bigger streets would be Western and like Addison.
Okay.
And I was in the options accelerated program there or whatever. So I tested in at an early, like after kindergarten, and I was in their gifted program at Bell, which is how I ended up at Lincoln Park, because Lincoln Park has this international baccalaureate program, the IB program, and everybody that was in the program that I was in elementary school automatically was eligible to test for the IB. And I wasn't a really good student growing up, so I found the loophole that if you're eligible to take that test to get into the IB program at Lincoln Park, you were automatically accepted into their double honors math and science program. So I purposely blew the tests for the IB program, and I got into the double honors program at Lincoln Park. So I was like, I didn't even like stress applying for high schools or nothing like that. I went straight into Lincoln Park because of the program that I was in at Bell School.
Wow. Awesome. So if someone wanted to look you up, where would they find your music at?
Oh, I mean, anywhere in any of the digital platforms at this point, all the stuff is there on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, Naps, everywhere, and any digital music streaming tool. Was it Tidal? It's on everything.
Do you have your own page?
My own. Like a
YouTube
website? Oh, the YouTube page is gonna be Ricky Lewis Music.
Gonna be, or is it?
It is. It's getting cleaned up right now. So I came up in the industry kind of more before the social media storm happened. So my experience in the music business is kind of a more old school, more traditional style. We sold albums. We went to radio. Not so much of the digital stuff. So.
Let me ask you this. Our audience, for those that don't know, what type of music are you involved in? And when did it start? When did your passion for music start?
Okay. So what I would say that 92% of the music that I do is salsa.
Salsa.
Right. Okay. I dabble in other stuff. I enjoy the R&B pop stuff. I've done a little bit of jazz stuff. Some of the other like tropical rhythms, bachata, merengue. You'll find a track or two with me singing on different rhythms. But salsa has been my thing, probably since I was about 13, maybe. I'd have to look at the year, but it was whatever year Mark Anthony came out with his first salsa album, Otra Nota. that album just completely enamored me with the genre. And salsa, being Puerto Rican, you know, the parties at the family parties and all that stuff. I always heard salsa. You know, mom always listened to Lalo Rodriguez and Hector Lavoe and all that stuff. And for me, like, I heard it in the background and it was cool, but I didn't really identify with it. I didn't speak the language. I was like, okay, this is cool music, and you know, whatever. But it was Mark Anthony that really got my attention because as a singer, like the way he interpreted music, you know, was something that I was really drawn to, and it's something that I hadn't heard before in that genre. You know, most of the time, you know, traditional salsa is very sonero. It's very like rhythmic and that type of stuff. But then I hear, you know, Mark, hasta que te conocí, y la vida con dolor, like open voice, just like, I was like, oh, as a singer, I really got drawn to it. So then that kind of brought me to Sir George, the producer, who's the one that produced that, and he was producing a lot of stuff for RMM that time. So that India record with Dicen que soy, all that, Sir George was the one that put out the first DLG record with No Morirá, No Morirá, yo sé. That was my school of salsa. And I fell in love with that, with salsa. Just, I used to go to the Fiesta Patronales in Humboldt Park, the Bandera on Division Street, and I would go and watch all the bands. And it's funny because I didn't really go for the singers. I was literally going, and whatever musician was the standout of whatever band I was watching, that's where my attention would be the whole time. Be like, oh, that timbalero's dope, or oh, this bass player's dope, or oh, that piano player's. And that's kind of like how I learned how to play all the stuff that I play now.
So on that, how many instruments do you play?
I play piano, I play bass, I play guitar, I play all the Latin percussion, so congas, timbal, bongo. I used to play violin, but I wouldn't call myself a violinist by any means. Honestly, I wouldn't call myself any of those things. I play enough to do the things that I want to do and to be able to express the ideas that I have musically. I know my genre like fairly well, right? So I know the ins and outs of, you know, how to montonear on the piano and the tumbao on the bass and different patterns on the percussion instruments. But you know, I don't think I'm a pianist, but you know, I don't think I'm a bass player. But I play those instruments specifically for the type of music that I produce.
Okay, so when did it start? So you got into salsa not early, but when did it start with you? When did you know you knew how to sing? When did you find out? Say, wait a second, I can sing. Or someone told you, Papi, you got a good voice.
The joke always is, and it's not gonna be funny because I'm telling you it's a joke, but because it's old, it feels old for me now. But I always say, you know, when I came out of my mom, right, the doctor held me upside down and smacked me, and I was like, la! Right, and it started right there. No, but I started singing like officially in the children's choir, Coro de los Niños, the Maternity BVM Church on North Avenue by Central Park. And I was 4 years old when I started.
Wow.
Yep. And they put me, I don't remember if I asked. My mom says that I kind of asked, that I was like, oh, look, I want to be in the choir or whatever. I guess I'd always like kind of hummed melodies and things like that as a younger kid. And by the time I was 5, they already given me my first solo. I remember they would put me on a chair in front of the podium and like in front of the altar, and they would have me sing the Cordero de Dios. Mi Cordero de Dios, tú que quitas el pecado del mundo. Right?
I love the voice you put out. I love the voice.
I sounded just like that. And it was just kind of this natural ability that I had. The director of the choir kind of always used me as an example to all the other kids in the choir. Mira cómo lo hace Ricardito. Mira Ricardito, ven acá. Come here. You know, like, sing this for me. And I'd be like, okay, la, 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 la. Mira, look how he did this, and look how his mouth moves, and look at his, and you know.
But it came natural, right?
It came natural. Like, I was just, I don't know. I was like, did I do that right? Okay, cool, you know. It created a little bit of animosity with some of the other kids that had been there for much longer than I. That, you know, that I just kind of, I'm just a little 5-year-old and you know, showing them up in church choir or whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of a natural thing. I've got this. I've been blessed with this gift. You know, I have a really great ear, and I've been in love with music like all my life, man. Like it's never been something that I've never had like a plan B or like, oh, maybe if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna do like just like music. Always, it's always been that.
As long as I've known you, you never had a plan B. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what you love, and this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's it.
Till
That was it.
die.
That was it. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen to
you
that.
know.
So now that you said that you were in church before, where are you in your walk with Christ?
Man, bro, I don't know. I think I stopped walking a while ago. Like I made a 180. I sat down in the sand. I
It
didn't see the
happens,
footprints
man.
no more. But
It
I don't know.
happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I have I have an interesting perspective on. It's kind of more universal view that I have, right? I'm not so much at this point a believer in any of the stories per se, but I believe in a higher power. I believe in a greater energy or something, and my position is that my feeble human mind can't even begin to actually imagine what that is. I use the term God a lot because I think a lot of people understand what I mean when I'm talking about it, and I feel that way about it, right? But there's not I don't follow any particular type of organized religion. I don't really do that anymore. So yeah, I'm kind of just more in a a loving space. I try to act from a place of love. I try to understand from a place of love. And that's just kind of what I do at this point in my life. It's really like love and empathy based.
Okay.
I dig that. I dig that. So I want to go back a little bit. Now,
Yeah.
you said at 13, that's when you knew you loved salsa, right? At 13. But you said something very interesting. And you said that you didn't speak the language
Yeah, man, I didn't.
at 13?
I didn't speak the language until I moved to Puerto Rico.
How old were
Which,
you?
let me tell you, I do
Yeah.
not recommend moving to a Spanish-speaking country if you don't speak Spanish. It was not the easiest task. No.
So even at home, you didn't speak Spanish?
So I'm third generation. Both my mother and father were born in the States as well. Dad was born in New York. Mom was born in Michigan, Indiana. And though they spoke Spanish as children, since they grew up in the States,
Right.
their first their dominant language is definitely English. So we didn't speak Spanish at home. My Spanish comes from whatever I sang while I was in the choir. And I always make the comparison. If you've seen the Selena movie, you know that she didn't really speak Spanish either, right? So it's just a matter of phonetics for me. Like I would put the vowels together, and I would sing what I thought were the words. And funny enough, still to this day, now that I do speak Spanish, some of those songs that I used to sing back when I had a band in Chicago, I'll hear them again on the radio and be like, "Oh, that's what it said." I get these realizations still to this day.
Oh, we do that right now with house music. Right? We listen to house music. You were like, wow, it said we on nasty stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we were jamming to it back in the day. We didn't know what it was saying. We just jamming to the beat.
Yeah. It's not nasty compared to what's out there now though.
Oh,
man.
what's
No,
out there
that's
now
all,
is
like
horrific.
that's rated G stuff at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, pretty much. But I do listen to the music now. I'm like, because my kids will tell me.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't play that. That's horrible. And they're
Yeah.
like, do you know you used to play around us? And I'm like, what do you mean? They'll play a song, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
But totally. So, who is Ricky Lewis? Who is Ricky Lewis now from Ricky Lewis in Chicago and Ricky Lewis in L.A.? Now, you've been almost all over the world. I can say this.
I've been to many countries.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Many continents, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the progression from Chicago to now L.A. Who are you?
That's a good question, man.
Who
I'm
would
still.
people say you are, or who you want people to know who you are?
I think I'm kind of like constantly in a state of discovering who I am, right? And I'm always kind of striving for personal growth. So who I am yesterday is different than the person I am today, which will be different from the person that I am tomorrow, right? Like, and I know that like growth isn't necessarily linear. So some days I'll be maybe a little like my older
Right.
self,
Yeah.
and then some days I'm like trying to grow into the person that I think I should be, into the man I should be, or that I want to be. But that's personally, right? As I think artistically, since I had that fortune of seeing commercial success, being signed, traveling the world, I really like all the dreams that I had when I was a kid, they came true. Like I worked at them and it happened.
That's awesome.
So now I'm in a place where I really want to try to share the perspective and the growth that I've been able to achieve via my travels and via my experience, and share that with people. You know, I think as an artist that has that type of experience, I feel responsible to kind of help my people also gain a wider perspective and help them grow as well. Which is one of the reasons I get really upset when I hear established artists putting out music with caca messages. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, you have so much influence, you know, and especially in the Latin community, like, you know, we need to be lifted up, and these people are in the position to be able to educate and you know, to put us on more positive paths, and they don't, and it's really frustrating.
Why do you think they do that?
For the money, man. It's
So you think they're skipping out on actually delivering a good message just to get music out there so they could just make the money, or how does that work?
at the end of the day, when you talk about the music business, the focus is on the word business.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, all the people that are making decisions with the money are just like, give the people what they want. It's like McDonald's, right? You know, no one in their right mind would say that that's like, you know, quality food. Michelin star ain't you know, they ain't visiting McDonald's. That's not gonna happen. But it's a multi-million-dollar business, or maybe billion-dollar business, right? Because they cater to, in the way that they do, it's cheap, it's affordable, it's what everybody's kind of already conditioned with, and they're not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? So that's the idea of you know, kind of how the music business goes. They're just like, this is kind of like the trends and the fads, and let's just pump out as quick as we can something that we know that they're going to consume. It's going to be easy and low cost for us, and it's going to make us a lot of money, right? And that's kind of where the business is at. It's a business, right? It's about the money. It's about the numbers. That's really what it's about. The term music is just like a little accent. It's just like, oh, it's, you know, it's not really about the music, and
So it gets diluted somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily diluted. It's just superficial to begin with. You know what I mean?
Got you.
So what do you advocate for when it comes to music?
So many things. I mean, if I'm talking to other music creators, you know, I think it's really important to be individual and not let yourself be so influenced by fads and trends and, you know, other people saying, oh, this is what people want, this is what you should do, or whatever, right? I think a legitimate artist has something that they want to say, and you know, I always advocate for people to express themselves truly and rawly, because that's how people will really relate to your music, and that's the most helpful and healing music at the end of the day. It's cool to make a club jam where, you know, we're gonna get down and we can party to this, but you know, I learned early on the power of music. I remember one time we were at a show when I was with the group. We were doing a show in Atlanta, and some of the promoters was like, hey, we have someone that wants to meet you guys or whatever. I'm like, yeah, for sure, you know, bring them back. And it was this lady in her mid-40s, maybe, you know, and she was just like, I just got to let you guys know that I had a heart transplant or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And it was listening to your music that, like, you know, I'm certain that because of your music, I was able to recover from this, you know?
Amen to that.
So, you know, and then other things that maybe are not as serious, like, oh, you know, man, that one song that you wrote, you know, really helped me get my girl because, you know, I felt that same way. And, you know, she really dug whatever, and it helped me tell her the things that I was feeling, but I didn't know how to say, right? So once I started realizing that, you know, music has ability to help people, to touch people, to heal people, my kind of priority as far as my messaging changed a little bit, right? So now I'm real interested in perspectives that are not the common ones. I love challenging kind of common thought regarding common situations. But yeah, so I mean, I think for creators, really trying to be true to who you are and not listening to the outside noise. I think that's also a good way, from a business standpoint, to really develop or to grow a loyal fan base. Not a fan base of the fads, because when you follow fads, you have to continue to follow fads to continue, you know, to be supported by, you know, whoever's following those movements. But you create a loyal fan base, and they're gonna follow you
and
forever.
fads die.
Yeah,
So
of course.
when the fads die, that's it. You're done. You're done.
So then
if
you have to jump on the next one. It's like, oh, now I'm a bachata singer. Now I'm a reggaeton singer. Now, you know what I
So
mean?
you
It's
gotta
just like,
reinvent
huh?
yourself all the time. Continue to reinvent
yeah,
yourself.
and it's not even reinventing yourself. You're just kind of just copying whatever. You're following whatever
What's hot.
bandwagon is hot
What's
at
hot.
the
What's
moment.
hot.
Right, for sure.
Okay. So I gotta say this. One of your songs, and we spoke about this earlier, and we spoke about this actually when you came out with the song, helped me through a hard time and some depression I was going through. You gave me a different sight on what I was going through, and that sight was I can find love again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When
100%.
the song Con ella,
Con ella, yeah.
beautiful song. If you guys are watching right now, I mentioned earlier about his podcast or YouTube on YouTube, his songs, whatnot. Look him up. Ricky Lewis is it Ricky Lewis P?
That's my personal Facebook page. There's gonna be Ricky Lewis music
Okay,
for,
so
for
Ricky
all
Lewis,
the platforms.
look him up on YouTube, and look up the song that helped your boy out, Los, Con ella, on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He was sincere in the song, and anybody going through something really tough right now, that song will get you out of that rut. It did for me.
Yeah,
It did
I
for
mean-
me, and I want to thank you again on Flavor Podcast. Thank you again for having that inside you and sharing that with us.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because when I hear that, you know, that my music helps someone in some way or touches them, it's really validating to me. Like it continues to give me purpose for doing what I do, right? Because I no longer really do it for myself. I enjoy what I do, I really do. But it really pays off when I see how it positively affects other people. So, but yeah, I mean, I was going through that. That's a very real and raw song.
Extremely raw.
Yeah. That you know, that album, I made it at an interesting time in my life. I was in a very serious relationship that just it ended in a way that I wasn't happy with, and I was kind of really confused and hurt and lost, like emotionally. And sure enough, like I reconnected with someone from my past that helped me kind of come out of that rut, and it was really a relief to be able to see light again after being in darkness for so long. You know what I mean?
What for me, I didn't have this person in my life when that song came out. It just gave me the hope.
Okay.
But right after that, I actually married my wife.
Oh, well,
Met my wife and then
congratulations, bro.
married her.
Yeah.
So there was hope out there. And you with that song was hope.
Awesome.
So I want to ask you, you've been in different groups, or have you been in groups?
I mean, so officially, just Enclave. I was with Enclave for like 5 or 6 years. We did 3 studio albums. 2 of them were under Sony BMG. The last album I did with them was under Machete Universal Music. Then I've done like tours and featured songs with other groups. Like I toured a little bit with DLG for a little while. I did Europe with them and some spots in we did
What
Bolivia.
does DLG stand for?
Dark Latin Groove.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
never knew
there
that.
it is. Yeah, I
Okay.
got the answer for you,
Okay,
Bobby. Don't
that's
worry.
it.
Just ask, bro. Just ask. Bro. I got you.
You know, I'm educated now. I'm educated.
Now you know
I
everything.
need a degree.
Now you know everything, Bobby. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been it. And I before Enclave, I had my own band in Chicago, Ricky Luis y Su Orquesta. And after Enclave, you know, as soon as I was legally able to, I started putting out solo records again.
So who in Chicago right now or Chicago or anywhere else are you collabing with?
So I co-produced a group called Afincao that's based out of Chicago. We did a full album and then several singles after that. The ex-singer from that group, Renier Rosario, I did a tune with him, and we're working on some stuff as well. I've done like production and vocal coaching work with Junior Rivera. I did a production for Enrique Calderon, a tune called Más Tiempo, which is a song that I wrote and arranged and produced. I'm trying to think, like, you know, I love collabing with people from Chicago because I'm from Chicago, right? And in any way I can kind of contribute.
Cubs fan. Cubs fan. Just let your Sox people know.
Some people are gonna be okay with that, you know.
Some people not.
So
but
that-
I'm really a Yankee. I'm really a Yankee fan. But since I'm from Chicago, I say Cubs.
You know,
I'm
That was my next question. I was gonna say you're an artist, salsa artist or whatnot, producer, songwriter. And I was wondering, I was like, did you have to leave Chicago in order to get more exposed?
That's a good question.
100%.
That's a good question.
100%. The answer is yes. Final answer. I take that $1 million right now. Yeah, 100%, man. Like I totally had big fish and little pond situation in Chicago. I did everything I could. I played at the Aragon 14,000 times. I did the Fiesta Patronales every single time. I did every event at La Casa Puertorriqueña. I did Bandera Bandera. I did everything in Chicago. I played on La X Tropical when that was I had a song on
We hear
rotation.
so much of that, though. We hear so much from a lot of artists that we have interviewed. We hear it like we had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
We had to leave Chicago.
Yeah, I mean Kanye West, his song "Homecoming." You listen
Yeah.
to that. He says,
Oh, yeah.
I had to leave. You know, it's you got to leave. So I mean, it's different with maybe other genres. I don't know, but with salsa, like Chicago, at this, you know, it's I had to go. So I went to New York, which was a pretty big, right, for salsa with all the Latin influence and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and all that stuff. And I wasn't even in New York for a year. I got signed, moved to Puerto Rico.
Come on, somebody.
Not even a year.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, not even.
So
a year.
do you think it's a culture in Chicago? Chicago don't support their own. We hate on
It's a
each
bunch of
other
haters.
because we've heard it. We've heard it from not only salsa, house music, so
Hip-hop.
forth and so on. Do you think we don't show our artists our talent? Because we have a lot of talent in that city, but that talent doesn't stay in the city.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors, man. So
Like, I'm trying to figure out what is it? Why do people leave? Is it because we don't have a record label over there? What?
So, and this is a complex kind of question. It's
Right.
very layered. So we'll start with and I hate to, but I'm gonna start with the consumers,
Really?
right? You put a $5 cover at a place where there's gonna be a live music.
Come on, somebody. Come on.
What?
Speak.
$5?
Speak.
No, I can go to whatever, and you know, and they got ladies for free until 10, and but whatever, right? So
The mama.
that exactly. So I mean, you can't expect to sustain something like that when people won't even dish out $5 to see a band with 10 people, right?
Right.
How are they supposed to eat? Like so. Then as a musician, I'm like, I'm not trying to go make $60 to be in a club to play 3 sets until 2 in the morning. Like
Right.
what? No, not at all. And then you know you've got the promoters that you know
We
they don't
keep
want to
hearing
fork out
that.
budget,
Yeah.
but I understand because they're not gonna make money because if they try to put a $20 cover, ain't nobody gonna show up.
But I just want to say this to the camera. I was not one of those promoters. I've always paid this man.
Yeah.
I've always paid every band, every comedian that's done comedy for me, because you just have to. You can't be like the other promoters because you know after a while they're just not gonna. They don't care about your $1,000 people in the room. They might just do it for the 50 that Latin Soul Entertainment, which I used to be Latin Soul Entertainment, used to do. So they'll come work for me because I'm giving them their $500 a night, not their $20.
But so you do that, but there's not enough places to sustain 8 different groups or 9 different groups or whatever.
Yeah.
So what happens is you have groups start undercutting. Oh, these guys are, you know, how much you're paying that group $1,000. We'll do it for $850. You know, you're paying
yeah, that happened
$850.
a lot.
We'll do it for $700.
yeah.
You know, and then they'll be like, all right, we gotta do it for $700. I'm gonna only take 6 guys. Or there's even people like, just to be able to do this because. When you have less of a market like that,
Right.
it feels like there's more competition. So you got the people like that there should be a community, you know, cutting each other's heads off.
And sometimes it's like the promoter doesn't have to do that at all.
No,
Because
they'll
they're
do it within themselves.
Right. I'll sit there and like, well, okay, well, this
Listen.
band is doing it for less, and now you want to do it for less now? Oh, okay. We don't have to fight for it.
Yeah, and that happens.
It happens all the time.
That happens 100% of the time.
And people look at the promoter, they're like, we did something. That wasn't me.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was your boys over
yeah,
there.
man, because exactly. It'd be like
Yeah.
you're offering to pay less, and I can keep another 150, 200,
All the
two bills
time
in my
it will happen.
pocket. Okay.
They would, hey, don't bring that band. Bring us. We'll do it for free sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that happens so much.
Yeah, for
And I'm like,
sure.
we're doing it for free. You must suck. So I'll keep my band that I have every Thursday night.
So you get like the more, you know, and not to kind of like menospreciar el trabajo, el talento de otra persona, but the better kind of more sought after musicians are gonna start being more selective with where they go. They might not stick around in the city at all because they know they can make more money playing in Central Park, outside in New York, collecting money in a bucket.
SOC.
Than working, at a club where they have to wear a suit and dress shoes and be out until 2 a.m. where they're gonna have to go to work the next day because you can't sustain your life as a musician in Chicago.
I'll say this again to the camera. I never made them wear suits. They could wear whatever they want. They just had to bring the A game on the music.
Man,
and people
bro,
had to dance.
I have such a qualm with first of all with dress codes. I don't like dress codes, but I remember, man, one time I went back to Chicago at this spot called Tumbao. Swear to God, like the weekend after walking a fucking red carpet, bro. Like, and I had a jacket on, but I had Chucks on. But I'm looking fly. And they're like, oh, you can't wear gym shoes. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, I just walked on a red carpet for the Grammys, in this exact outfit. You trying to tell me I can't come in Tumbao? Come on, bro. What? Yeah, that type of thing happens all the time. Man. I don't like that.
My ego comes out of those times.
Yeah,
my ego comes out. I gotta admit, back in those days, I'm like, do you know who you're talking to?
I mean, I wanted to, but
you try to humble yourself.
He apparently didn't know who he was talking to.
I'm like, go get the owner.
We spoke to a few artists, right? Like I said, house music or whatnot, and they had the same thing. They said the same thing. They were like, for instance, in Chicago, in the summertime, there's festivals everywhere, right? And we had Pamp on there. Pamp, house music is from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, why aren't you not having an artist that represents the city in these festivals, right? Why ain't nobody supporting that? And that's the thing. You're saying the same thing, that we have the talent there, but we're not supporting our own.
There is an age-old saying, and it exists for a reason, nadie es profeta en su tierra. And that's what it is, man. Like, there's this whole thing about, oh, that guy, I went to school with that guy. Nah, man, like, he hooked up with my girl or whatever. Like, and there's like that personal level of hate because, they feel like, oh, I know him. He ain't nothing, whatever. Like, oh, he think he whatever because he on TV now or whatnot. That type of hate tends to build, And that happened with me with a lot of people that I thought were my friends. I would call back home excited, like, oh man, I just did like a recording session for a song for Ricky Martin or whatever, and they would take that as like, oh, you bragging in my face, or you think you're better than me now or whatever, and like I lost a lot of friends in Chicago because of that, and I know till this day, currently, even though I speak nothing but highly about my city and I represent Chicago wherever I go, I know and I hear it all the time about people that talk bad about me in Chicago.
Wow,
and it happens,
of course,
and it happens. It's one thing that I teach, and I teach my crew, and we always talk about it. It's each one teach one, and each one teach one means there could be another podcast company right across the street. I'm not gonna hate on them.
No,
we're gonna help each other out.
Sure,
we're gonna grow together. We're not gonna help. We're not gonna just hate on each other, and in that way, we will all grow together and we'll all prosper.
That's
because when you're hating each other, somebody's gonna lose, and you might just both lose.
Right. Yeah. I mean, en la unión está la fuerza, no? That's what they say. Like if you look at how these reggaeton artists came up, it's just collab after collab after collab after collab after collab after collab, and dude, reggaeton is the biggest genre in the world right now. You know what I mean? And it's that working together. They're like, we create this community, and we're gonna come up together. We're gonna create a market and a demographic, and yeah, man. But yeah, it doesn't really exist. In my genre, in salsa, you have a lot of this hesitancy towards progress and evolution of the genre itself. Like, the minute you put a drum in salsa, like, eso no es salsa. All the traditional heads, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, man, I love my traditional music, and I love all the pioneers and everything they did, the sound that they created, but it's art, and art needs to live, and it needs to evolve like everything else in the universe. And there's always pushback to that. So that's another obstacle that salsa at least faces everywhere.
So how can Ricky Lewis change that? Or,
I mean,
contribute something to
I'll
the
tell you
change?
something, like, currently there is a new wave of salsa that I'm excited about, because there is a lot of like just new fresh sounds that are being incorporated in the music, and I've talked to a lot of these people that are producing now, and I know a lot of them. And the album that I put out 13 years ago, once again, speaking to some of these people, like it kind of set a bar, or at least gave people the idea that they could be a little bit more risk-takey with their stuff. And I think now that we have social media and all this, you have the ability to just reach people that maybe you couldn't reach before.
Yes.
So, you know, I've never been interested in catering to the salsa community, because at the end of the day, maybe they're not gonna like it because my stuff is different. It's just for whatever. But it's cool. I'm just looking
Right.
for people to like the music. I'm looking for my own tribe. You know what I mean?
Word.
So I'm not really about trying to bump heads anymore and trying to defend like, oh, this is salsa because the element, you know what I mean? I don't really want to have those conversations anymore. I'm just like, I want to make the music that I feel like I
Right.
want to make and let it speak to who it's going to speak to, and then those are my people, and I'm good with that.
So, you know, you kind of touched on it on reggaeton. Have you, how do you feel about like reggaeton and salsa fusion? Would that happen, or does that happen?
It's happened.
It happens a lot of time.
Yeah, it's happened for sure. I remember, I don't know what year it was, but Andy Montañez, one of the oldest salsa singers
Yeah.
that exist, he did a whole album called Salsatón.
Salsaton.
Yep, he did a whole and it's just, you know, it's salsa and reggaeton. They do that a lot in like a lot of the Cuban timba stuff, the cubaton. That's another idea of like salsa kind of mixed with reggaeton.
Really?
So the rhythms work well together.
Okay.
I don't know that people think it's cool, right?
Right,
Because it's
right.
like you're mixing either music for young people that if you include old stuff, they'd be like, yeah, that's a pa viejo. I don't dig
Right,
that.
right.
Or you're putting new elements into a traditional music where you got the old heads be like, esos chamaquitos no
Right.
están jodiendo la vaina esa con ese pum pum pum, qué sé yo.
You say you're so right. You said
That's
it's
how
so
it
right.
is, too, that sounds like one of my uncles and shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I got that flack a lot, man, when I was in
Yeah.
the group, and we didn't do reggaeton. We did have some reggaeton artists featured on our songs. Like we did stuff with we did a couple of songs with Julio Voltio, Rakim
Oh, yeah,
White.
yeah.
But we would get that hate all the time from the older people, and like, you know, you guys are just bonitillo así con la sonrisita, los dientes blancos así cantando bonitillo.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
well, you know what, you don't like it, but you gotta pay for your daughter to get into my concert, so whatever, I'm good.
Right.
Say that. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Los. And if you're trying to be on our podcast, you can reach us at los@flavapodcastnetwork.com. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a singer, you are a dancer, you're an actor, you're a politician, you want to get a word across, you got something good going on in Chicago, New York, Miami, wherever in the world, we're here to showcase you and to put you out there for people to help you out in what you're doing, all right? So that was Los, L-O-S, at flavorpodcast.com. What's up? It's your boy Los LOS, and we are back with Ricky Lewis. My boy JJ's got a question. What's your question? Or you want me to jump into my question?
You jump into yours.
All right. He needs me. You know, this half of the segment. You know, we always try to get a little deeper and whatnot.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff is going on in the world, Ricky. When it comes to the war, when it comes to politics, when it comes to how people treat each other right now. What do you think the world needs right now?
What the world needs now
Come on.
is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that, yeah, man. I mean, I said it earlier, right? Like, my perspective is, you know, just exist from a place of love always, right? And yeah, it's. I think if we started with respect, I think that's a good place to start, and then love can flourish from there. But yeah, that's something that's unfortunately void in a lot of I don't know if it's in people or just, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all just kind of products of what we know and where we're around and things like that. I think a lot of people don't necessarily take the time to think outside of what their own reality already is based on, you know, what they've learned or where they're from or whatever. I know myself, like, one of the greatest things for me to be able to kind of like developed a level of empathy and respect that I have for other people of different beliefs and different cultures and backgrounds, just actually meeting them, going to different countries and meeting people that have a different experience and a different perspective, and just sharing time with them and talking and conversing in a way that is not going to be judgmental, in a way that I'm not trying to see things from my perspective, what they're telling me. I just really try to understand where they're coming from. So I think that's something that I don't see. I've been kind of really disconnected from conversations around politics and things like that, because there's not really a dynamic or a place to have real conversations anymore. It's people kind of yelling at each other from opposite ends of the spectrum, and no one's listening to each other. No one's actually trying to hear what the other one has to say. It's like, I'm passionate about what I feel, and I just want to say what I have to say, and I'm not open to hearing anything else. And you get that same reaction on the other side, and you just get people fighting all the time, man. And it's not productive, and it's unhealthy. So I don't know. I don't have any answers. I'm not a politician. I'm not super educated on that. But I know that at a human level, I mean, we need to start at least from a place of respect.
That's a great answer. I believe also in that sense, I'm a Christian, and the world does need love.
Yeah, love, man.
Definitely, 100%.
For sure.
We need to lay down our I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
All the time. And just come to a plain ground, something that we could live with, what I'm saying, without bashing each other and whatnot. But music is like that as well. People are saying now that music right now, let's say rap, right, hip hop, women are more bashing men, and men are feeling less of being a man. What's your thoughts on that when people are saying men are not men no more? They're too girly or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really buy into that. Like, so we're Latino, right? There's a lot of machismo in our culture. Like we learn kind of like how to be a man in that sense, where it's kind of like dominating, and women are kind of like there for us, type of thing. But my father set a very different example for me. Like, my father's one of the few men that I know in my life that he was totally faithful to my mother. And even though, like, my dad is a strong person, like, he's a traditional man in the sense that, he knows how to fix things in the house. He works on the car, like, that type of stuff. But I never really got, like, what a lot of people would consider now as, like, this toxic masculinity type of thing.
Right.
I also don't necessarily believe in labels and things like that. I think that everything is possible. I think that we spend too much time trying to fit into like boxes or create boxes for some reason. I don't know, man. I just try to be who I am. Like, I'm not trying to fit anyone's definition of what a man should be. I don't really know what that means.
What a man should look like or act like or be like.
I think
because you were a man with your fingers right now. They're painting.
I got painted
and I love
nails.
it. You know what? I'm gonna paint mine tonight for you.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I don't feel that just because your fingers are painted that you're less of a man.
Yeah, and why would I be like why would paint on dead cells on my finger define me in any way? Right? It doesn't. It's it doesn't really make any sense. But we have all these kind of like preconceptions about what that is.
Do you?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you feel that freedom of speech is dead? Because now we live in a society that if you do speak your mind, you're going to get bashed for it, right? Now, if you say something, you're going to have all these internet trolls hitting your comment, right? You have an image to protect. You're an artist or whatnot, right? And a lot of times you want to say the safe thing, right? But deep down inside, you really want to say something, but you don't want that to damage you as an artist or what you're trying to put out there. Do you feel, back in the days, you were able to say how you feel, right? And this goes from comics to actors. Let me give you a perfect example. Back then, and I'm going to say my age when I name this, back then you used to have these TV shows called All in the Family, Sanford & Son,
Man, you
where
old.
they will actually.
You are old,
talk-
bro.
I'm old. I'm old.
I'm like,
I'm
what
not-
are
listen,
these
listen,
shows?
Listen, I don't
What's
want
that-
to.
what's
Wait,
that stuff
wait.
in
I don't
your
want to
chin?
say I'm old. I'm well seasoned. Let's just put it
All
like
right,
I'm well
you've
seasoned.
been
You know what I'm
marinated for
saying?
a while.
Yes,
but
That's
sir.
our song.
I'm
That's
well
our song.
seasoned,
That's our
baby.
song.
So back then they used to talk about political issues, right? They used to talk about racism and how they felt, right? But now you don't see that. Now everybody's just walking really
On eggshells.
and you don't want to say how you really feel. And why is that? Why is it that we have the freedom of speech, but if you speak about
Hey, brother.
how you
Hey, brother. I
feel,
love you, but you need to get close to that mic.
you know what I'm saying? If you feel and you say what you feel, right? Then you're being prosecuted. You're being hung for that, right? So what do you think about that?
I
An
think,
artist. I'm sorry to cut you.
yeah.
But an artist is an artist because an artist speaks what they want to speak, right?
Yeah.
Look at Prince, right? Prince was one that, he would say the things he would say, and he didn't care about whenever he went.
Prince
through-
wore heels.
Well, but
loved it.
He changed his name.
I loved it. I want some
Right?
heels right now.
But now you don't see that anymore. Why do you feel?
I think. I mean that's complicated and
Mm-hmm.
it's sensitive. I don't think that freedom of speech has really gone anywhere for real, because we're talking here
Mm-hmm.
right amongst ourselves, and we can say whatever we want. I think freedom of speech doesn't come with freedom of responsibility of whatever the reaction of what you say is going to be. I think though it's important, like when I have these conversations about this type of thing, like freedom of speech obviously is important, but
Right.
going back to talking about respect and love,
Right.
I think it's also important to like consider the way other people feel about the things that you say. Like maybe I'm gonna say something that might offend somebody, and I feel that, but I want to be able to hear from someone if for some reason I said something uncomfortable, and I'm open to have that conversation.
Right.
Now I think that on the other end too, people need to use that as an opportunity to let them know, like, hey, maybe you feel this way, but you have to consider X, Y, and Z. So, I mean, it can't be a one-sided thing, right?
Right,
Freedom
right.
of speech just can't be a one-sided thing. It has to go both ways.
That's right.
Right.
And there are going to be uncomfortable things and uncomfortable conversations, but it's through those that we can kind of grow as a society and as people, as individuals. But I don't. I feel like I try to be humble enough to listen to anybody's perspective and what it is that they have to say.
That's good.
Right.
Especially if it's regarding something that I said first, right? I'm not out here trying to hurt people. I'm not out here trying to be offensive. And if something that I do comes off that way, I want to know so that I can be mindful moving forward, so that I can
Right.
continue to try to live in
Right.
love and
And
respect.
we need people saying, yo, that didn't feel that good when you said that.
Right.
And so people want to keep it in, so you don't know if you said something wrong sometimes because it's just your personality.
Right.
But
And
your
that-
personality sometimes you need to be changed because you did hurt somebody.
Yeah, and that's an issue like amongst men as well, right? Like we don't ever speak up and talk about the things that we're feeling, right? Because it's like, oh, are you some type of like what?
You're
that-
weak, right?
Right.
You're looked at as
Right.
you're weak, right?
Exactly. But listen, the very first time I painted my nails, and it was because of that. Like, I live in LA now, right? It's a very progressive city. It's very liberal, and I was in Miami recently, and I'm someone that I like to take care of myself. I like to give massages. I give facials. I'll do a mani and pedi, and I take care of my body in all the ways that I can. It's the only one I got, and it's relaxing and all this other stuff. I live a stressful life. I'm always on a plane. I'm like rush, and I was in Miami, and there was this kind of like very overpowering sense of bro, macho, whatever, and I scheduled myself a massage, and during the massage I was telling myself, I was ridiculing myself, like, oh man, what kind of man are you getting a massage? What's wrong with you? You're not men don't do this. And I was like, wait, why am I thinking about this to myself?
Wow.
So I doubled down. I was like, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna paint my nails, just to tell that part of my head, you know what, screw you,
Shut up.
shut up,
Shut up, yeah.
And that's how that happened. So this in my, for me, and any woman that I've spoken to about this, this is confidence, and this is manly as hell to have my nails painted. To be honest,
Do you paint your toes?
I did the first time. No. I did. Listen, man. Listen. No. The first. It's hard, man. Like
Be honest, man. Come on, man.
I was raised the way I was raised too, right? So like when I first saw my fingers painted, I'm like, what is this? And seeing my toes painted while I was laying in bed,
Hey,
you know, my foot with this glossy nail polish, I was just like, what am I doing with myself?
Open-toe sandals when you did that?
No, I did not. I wouldn't put people through that. I'm respectful.
you don't have you don't got pretty toes?
I got these like hammer toe situation going on.
They're throwing up gang signs.
Look like
I
eagle
love showing
claws.
off my toes. I love my feet. My feet.
Whip
I'm
'em up, man.
flat-footed,
What's
but
up?
my feet is beautiful. They're
I'm flat
beautiful.
foot too, man. My toes just they don't.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I got kicked out of Excalibur once for being barefoot on stage.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know if he's put my toes were ugly, but no, it's a true story. True story. It was summertime. I was wearing some like no heel type of sandals, but they were like dress sandals. They were like Kenneth Cole or something like that. And I was performing with it might have been like Orquesta La Única or some band from Chicago that I used to sing with back then. And my sandals were kind of like coming off as I was trying to dance. So I was like, well, I'm just going to take them off and put them on the side. I was on stage barefoot. And some lady comes up to me and she's like, hey, put your shoes back on. And I'm like, in the middle of a song, like, who the hell is you? You know what I mean? Like, why are you telling me I need to get out of here? I'm like on stage performing, like
in the zone.
Turns out that was the lady that booked the bands there. So I got banned from Excalibur for being barefoot.
What the hell are you doing?
On
Paying
stage.
you?
Yeah, the one that's paying you. Oh, you're the one giving me $80. Thanks.
Oh, God.
Straight up.
Jesus.
I need you.
Again. I've never done that. You don't do that to the artists. They work hard. They put in work. They put in a lot of work and a lot of hours to learn an instrument. And this man right here, knows a bunch of instruments. So imagine the hours he put in, the time that he put in.
I've got my 10,000 hours, brother.
And you were self-taught.
Yeah. I mean, I shared with you guys earlier what I learned in my piano lessons.
You did?
For those who didn't hear, it was for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Very simple. Yeah, I mean, I took a couple of classes, in high school. I studied a little bit of music theory. But yeah, I'm pretty much self-taught. When I first made a band, back when I met Tony.
Well, Tony's behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know our guy, our Flavor Podcast videographer, cameraman,
Absolutely. Great
producer, director sometimes, runs the wires, tells us to shut up. That's our boy Tony.
Tony used to play timbales for my band back in the day. And I remember we weren't all like super knowledgeable in our instruments or whatnot, and I would go to this place called Disco City on Milwaukee.
Come on now.
It's still there.
Yeah,
it's still there, man.
Yep. The Cardonas, I think, on there, right?
Cardonas, yeah.
Yep.
Felix Cardona.
Yep. And they used to sell these DVDs at the brand LP. It's a brand that makes percussion instruments. They used to make these like instructional DVDs. And so I would buy those, I would watch them, I would learn, and then I would share them with my peers. And be like, I checked out this, I saw this one technique with this, the heel toe's wrong, we're doing it this way, it's actually like that or whatever.
Really?
Tony remembers, he's nodding his head back there. So that's how I learned. And so I learned because I wanted to share, that knowledge with not only my friends, but also the people that were playing with me so that we could sound better. So it's
you
pretty much
learned how to
self-taught,
play by ear, or did you know how to read the music and then play?
I learned how to play by ear,
Wow.
and then I learned how to read music afterwards.
Wow,
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah. And till this day, like everything that I do, I don't even write the music. Like I create everything from my head, and when I'm recording everything, it's all from memory. And then I hire someone else to make the charts for the music for the musicians to play live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We were talking about earlier music like La India. And I don't know her songs because I love your music and I love salsa music. I love merengue. I love my Latin music. But I'm a hip hop head.
Right.
I'm a Latin jazz guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a jazz period guy.
Okay.
Dizzy Gillespie guy.
All right.
My partner knows more about the La India and whatnot. So she used to sing songs or does sing songs about men hurting her or bashing men.
Ese hombre que tú ves ahí.
Yeah. So you've never made a song on the opposite side, like
I would never bash
women.
a woman. No.
But there was other artists that have.
So you know how the India lo tira lo hombre, right? And all the girls, oh man, you know, they go crazy, right?
Yeah.
She's a great artist. I seen her play live or whatnot.
Yeah, she's super talented.
But what's the answer to that, right? I think Oscar de Leon, Llorarás. What was the name of the song?
Llorarás, yeah.
Yeah. I guess what he's trying to say is there anything that you ever made that has that same vibe? You know, like a man, like earlier today he spoke about he heard something that you made and he was going through a breakup or whatnot. But how about a song that says, hey, to a woman, you broke my heart, but you know what, you're going to pay for it, you know, whatnot.
So that particular line of messaging is not my jam.
It's not your flow.
Nope.
If you were to ask me, music is not you. I Survive music is not you.
I'm good with tiraera. I will write songs. I will, but not toward a woman. Like I'm a romantic, and if I had to respond to, for example, ese hombre, my version would be accountability. Be like, you know what, you're right. I was selfish. I was around with this other girl or whatever. Yeah, so I got a true story. This is recent.
Okay.
Mark Anthony on his new album, he promoted his second single on this album, a song called Mala. Tú me saliste mala, mala y cara. I heard it. I hated it. You liked it. I hated it. I'll tell
my mom was jamming. My mom was like, that's why I liked it.
So okay. I hated the fact that this man, who is a multi-millionaire, is complaining about spending a couple dollars on a girl. One. Two, I'm mad that this man in his position of influence is reinforcing the idea to his Latin men, right, that it's okay to compare a woman to some type of monetary value, right? So I wrote a song called Peor, and I take the same exact perspective, and I say, sería inmaduro de mi parte culparla, poco caballero armar bochinche, maldecirlo, difamarla, otro diría que le salió mala y cara. Pero lo mejor. My thing is like I decided to spend money, and that was my decision as a man. I take responsibility for it. Never ever ever would I assume that because I'm spending money on a girl that she owes me something.
Come on.
Right?
Okay.
So I think that's an awful message, and I say, you know what? The best thing that I learned from this is I get a lesson. So if I want to avoid that type of situation again, then I'm gonna not act in that way. But I'm not gonna blame. I'm not going to be woman blaming or woman shaming. And I think it's awful for someone in his position and his influence to continue to kind of like perpetuate that machismo and that perspective of women. Yeah.
That is a man. We don't attack. When they attack us, we just aim higher. We don't go low. We go high. All right? For all you youngins about to listen to his music, going on YouTube, listen to the music, hear the man's voice, hear his thoughts in his heart, follow the man. We need to monetize Ricky Lewis's
Amen.
YouTube page.
Yeah.
Amen. I got this LA rent, bro.
He doesn't have 500 people now. We need 1,500 people. If he has 1,500 people, we need 5,000 people to monetize that page tonight as you're watching this.
Preach it. Preach it. Preach.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, check out that song when you get a chance called Peor, bro. Like,
So that was your answer to what he said.
Yeah. So
Really?
It's basically my perspective. It's like I said earlier. I like to try to take common situations and reveal a perspective that's not the common one. Because the common perspective is you're hurt, right?
Right.
You want to get revenge, and if you're
course.
gonna feel vengeful and kind of spiteful or whatever.
Right.
But once again, like I'm someone that I've learned to kind of. I realize that I don't have all the answers.
Right.
And if I know anything, it's that I know very little, and I know almost nothing compared to everything that there is to know. So I'm always in a position to be able to humbly listen and really kind of reevaluate my current position. I love new information. I'm always checking my own perspective and always challenging the things that I currently believe in. That's how I constantly try to grow. Yeah.
Amen. So what are you working on these days?
Man, I'm trying to get my third album out, man, and it's been a journey. I've got a bunch of songs that I've been working on for a long time, and I'm unfortunately a bit of a perfectionist. So I hear stuff and it's like, oh, that could be better. This could be better. And then also life, man. Like sometimes I just don't find motivation, man. Unfortunately, I, as we all deal with navigating through life, we have ups and downs. And sometimes I just don't feel like coming into the studio. Sometimes I just don't feel like making music. Sometimes, my energy just needs to be on just getting through the day, right? So it's been a long time since I've been working on this album. After leaving the group, it's been kind of hard for me, man. Like I was in a position where I had this big money machine working for me.
Right.
I got to perform in Madison Square Garden and then stadiums in Latin America, and
Whoa.
did award shows, walking red carpets, Grammys nominated, presenting awards to Shakira. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff. To then being kind of silenced and blackballed. For a while, I was sued. I had a lawsuit that went on for almost 2 years that had me tied up. Like I couldn't record, I couldn't really make money. So it's been a really like difficult and uphill battle. But at the end of the day, I do love what I do, and I love when what I do is able to touch people in a positive way. So, I'm not trying to rush it, but I am working on my third album. I'll be releasing a single in mid-January, and then we're dropping the album for around Valentine's Day to 2024.
So it's gonna be a record release.
It will be a full album. There's gonna be 9 songs on it. Two that already have been released. One of them is called Party, and it's just a club jam, like just upbeat, energetic.
English?
No, it's not in English.
So it's Party?
Party.
Party?
Party.
Party? Okay.
El Party de Ricky Louis.
Do you have a name for that album yet?
I'm just going. So my first album was called Out the Box.
Okay.
And the second album I called it OTB2 because as I was doing promotion for the first album, given that I work in a Spanish-speaking market, it was difficult for a lot of people to say "Oh, de vos."
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm just gonna put the letters here. That way, if you speak English, you say OTB. If you speak Spanish, you say OTB. Everybody's happy, right? So this one's just OTB3. It's the third Out the Box. Third time's a charm. It'll be the masterpiece of the Out the Box saga.
Trilogy.
And then after that, I'm just gonna start putting out just music. I have a very kind of like defined idea of the type of messaging that I want to put out, and I want it to be positive and helpful. Once again, like I said, I like to challenge normal concepts and preconceptions, and just I'm not trying to preach at anybody, but I like to inspire people to ask questions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You're very inspirational, man.
Thank you.
And today's a special day. Today is your birthday.
Today's my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Happy
man.
birthday,
Bro.
man.
Yeah,
Happy birthday,
no, thank
man.
you all for spending it
Absolutely.
with me, for sure.
We got you a little something.
Oh, no
We
way.
got you a little something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here to the side, so the camera sees me move. I'm over here going to the side. And we just want to give you, on behalf of Flava Podcast,
Oh, man.
Absolutely,
little
man.
present,
I
and to
appreciate
let
it.
you
A little
know
token of our
that
appreciation.
Thank you, man.
my man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
You,
this.
my man, have flavor.
Oh,
Yes.
hey, man. It takes one to know one, as they say, right? So I appreciate what y'all are doing, for sure. And once again, man, thanks for having me on and for considering
Absolutely.
and coming out to LA, coming out all this way. I know the West Coast is kind of far for people. It seems sometimes. But I really like it here, and I wish you guys could stick around for a little bit longer so we can hang out.
Well,
a
we'll
bit.
probably see you again. Hopefully, that album release party.
Yes.
We could probably
You know,
be,
Yeah.
is there
you
gonna
know,
be a party? It's gonna be like a
There's
kind
gotta
of
be a
thing,
party.
you know?
There's
you gotta
gotta
play
be a
that
party.
house
Yeah.
music, outside they throw, little
Yeah, man,
Chicago
for sure.
spins.
We'll put together a party.
So
Okay.
Ricky, can you do something for us? Can you play one song for us? Can we get something out of you?
Yeah, for sure, man. That's what I'm here for.
So we're gonna take a little small break right now. The small break starts with this, a commercial break. So what's up? It's your boy LOS Los. You could reach us at LOS@Flavapodcast.com if you are an entrepreneur, if you're looking to get your brand, your label out, if you're a politician, if you are a singer, songwriter, if you are a comedian, if you're in the entertainment business, or you're doing something good in Chicago, New York, or wherever in the world, hit us up. LOS@Flavapodcast.com. So we're back. It's your boy LOS Los. I'm with my boy JJ. We are the host of Flavor Podcast. You don't see JC because JC's on the break right now, but he will be back once we get back to the studio. This is season 2, episode 1 with Ricky Lewis. Today is his birthday. For the podcast, gave him a little gift, and we wanted to do the unveiling.
Yeah, we were just talking about nail polish. I thought you guys were. I thought you guys maybe got me some nail polish.
No, we wouldn't.
So
We wouldn't do that to you, man.
Let's see what's in there. Let's see what's in there.
I see. Oh, there it is. It's a Pee Wee Herman costume, is what it is. So the first time that I did that event for you at, what was it, Martini Club?
Martini Club,
yeah. You were showing photos, and hopefully you. I don't know if you can post photos of in like the when you edit the video for this.
We probably can, yeah.
But yeah, show the photo of this. Yeah, got some suspenders and a bow tie, so I could be like Pee Wee.
I think there's something else in there in the bottom.
Definitely something else in there.
There's definitely something in the bottom. You got to dig deep in it. It's somewhere around there. You'll probably feel it.
You did give me nail polish.
Yes. You wanted to match with your bow tie.
Oh, okay.
And it says something else on there.
Let's see. And it's vegan.
And it's vegan.
Oh, man. You know what? Listen, that is dope. That is so considerate, and I really appreciate this. I promise I will paint my nails with this.
Yes.
Amen. That's dope.
Much appreciated.
It was told. It was told.
Tony picked it out?
Yeah,
he knows me. He knows me. Thank you all. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
What's up? You're listening to the Flavor Podcast, and right now you're about to listen to the fabulous, the incredible, the fantastic Ricky Lewis.
¿Cuándo fue la última vez que sentiste mariposas? ¿Recibiste una rosa o leíste una carta de amor? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que esperaste por un beso? Solo un beso, hasta la hora de decir adiós. ¿Te acuerdas cuando te bajaban las estrellas? Ya no. No sé por qué ya no te tratan así. Si eres una princesa y mereces tu final feliz, la flor más linda de todo el jardín, musa de la melodía de esta canción que yo escribí para ti. Yo he escuchado hablar de sexo sin amor, tantas ganas de tu cuerpo sin desear el corazón, mucho fuego sin calor, mucho movimiento sin pasión, mucha anatomía, poca poesía, no sé qué pasó. ¿Te acuerdas cuando te bajaban las estrellas? Ya no. No sé por qué ya no te tratan así. Si eres una princesa y mereces tu final feliz, la flor más linda de todo el jardín, musa de la melodía de esta canción que yo escribí para ti. Ay, para ti, musa de la melodía esta canción que yo escribí para ti.
Yo, what's up? I hope you enjoyed that segment. I hope you enjoyed the episode, season 2, episode 1 with Ricky Lewis. We're out here in LA. What do you thought about that, Jay?
Man, I think it's a great way to start the season. I mean, we got this guy, Ricky Lewis, from Chicago. I mean, this is a great beginning to the second season. Let's go, baby.
So if you haven't watched season 1, go back to the YouTube, Flavor Podcast on YouTube. Watch 1 through 10, and then you can start off, go back to 1 through 10. And then you saw this one already, so you already saw it. And keep on watching, subscribe, share, comment, comment. We want to see comments. If you didn't like it, say something. Say you didn't like it. If you loved him and you want to see more of him, let us know. All right? That was Ricky Lewis. I am Los, and this is
JJ, and we out.